So we made it through our cold snap without the water freezing this year. So that means that we got down to negative temperatures and for extended periods of time. That's key. Now, I know in the past I've said that we've gotten down to like -4 before, so we didn't get as cold this year, granted. I had a more difficult time keeping it warm. There's something wrong with the box. Cold air is getting in somewhere, and I'm just not seeing it. So, you know, I had that issue to contend with this year. So it was getting closer to freezing quicker than normal. Now, somebody already corrected me on this. Apparently in a video I said we didn't freeze this year. That's not true. You're right. What I meant to say is we didn't freeze during this really cold spell event. We froze earlier, probably in December, just for a day. It was really not even an issue. We didn't even have to get water out of the well. And see, I think I'm gonna have to replace the styrofoam is what it is, because it's busted up. So I'm gonna have to buy a new piece of styrofoam, because I just got it taped here and you can see all kinds of gaps and it's just not fitting correctly anymore. I think you can see that. So that is why it's not getting as warm as it, or staying as warm as it used to. Okay, so like I was saying, back in December, it got down to like 17 degrees and it froze, which was a huge surprise. That's never happened to us before. So that's because that insulation is busted. So we'll get that replaced and that should go away. But this last cold spell, in January here for the last 3 weeks, I mean, we've been in extraordinarily cold temperatures for long periods of time. And even if we would have been able to withstand down to negatives like we did last year, we wouldn't have been able to withstand these prolonged cold events. So even if we never got down to negative temperatures, we wouldn't have been able to manage anyways. It just stayed too cold too long. And it was so cloudy, it wasn't like I could fill the water every day either. I was doing about every other day, sometimes every 4 days. My point to this is even a big YouTuber has mentioned that I froze up this year. You're just not going to avoid it. Off-grid living is a terrible idea. But somebody said something in the comment section the other day that is absolutely true, and I've said this many times myself. Even in a regular house, when temperatures get this cold, you have problems. Now, I didn't have problems this year. Yes, that 17-degree day, we froze up. But for them to say that I froze up like I was having some major issues, it was actually quite convenient this year. Now, the solar panels not charging the batteries, we did use an excessive amount of gas this year, more so than any other year. But that's okay, we still made it. So running that little space heater in that box has solved our problems. And it's no different than what anybody else would do. I mean, everybody had suggestions like, you know, use a 100-watt light bulb. I mean, I remember as a kid, well, heck, even in the 90s, my dad used to heat the well house with a light bulb. It's just something you do. So using a 200-watt heater really is no different. The bigger advantage I have running the 200-watt heater is it forces the generator to run a little bit harder, which helps it stay warm, because the generator is going to struggle. These air-cooled machines stay colder in cold temperatures. So like in your car, it has a thermostat, so it can shut off the cooling system, the water, for extended periods of time until the engine heats up. And then as it heats up, it can let in a little bit of water at a time to kind of keep it at a stable temperature. But with air-cooled engines, you have a constant supply of wind coming in through the flywheel that will keep it cold. So if you don't get it hot enough, if you're not being able to get it hot enough, just running on high RPMs is what I was doing with that generator, it's still not going to heat it up. So what you got to do is you got to put a load on it so it uses more gas to maintain the high RPM, so 3,600 RPMs. But even at the 200 watt, that wasn't really helping. So I was also having to run the battery charger, which is fine. I was running it just so I could have extra load to keep the generator running, but it was also keeping the batteries maintained throughout the night. I didn't have to worry about damaging the batteries in this cold temperatures. So everything was a plus. The only downside is I had to run the generator more. Now, I've really thought about this. In the previous winters that we've been here, the last 6 years, this is the first winter where we've had an extended cold period. When I say that, usually the cold period is in the 30s. Had a little bit of interruption with the dogs there, I apologize. So what I was trying to say is, for the last 5 years, we would all winter long be in the 20s and 30s, maybe get down into the teens occasionally at night, and then we would have 2 or 3 days of just massive cold. So we'd be down into the zeros and the negative digits. The first year we moved in January, and the week after we moved in, we got down to the negative temperatures. As a matter of fact, that's why we moved in the week we did. I don't feel like we were completely ready to move in, but we did, because there was no way we were going to survive those temperatures in the camper. But this year has been completely different. This year we were in the 30s and 40s most of the winter. So warmer temperatures all around. And then we hit a cold snap, and it was an extended cold snap. We've been below freezing for 3 weeks straight. And the thing is when I say below freezing, most of the days we were below the 20s. Some days we never got above 20 degrees. So it's been extremely cold. We've used a lot of firewood, which is fine. That's not a big complaint, especially considering how little we have used this year as far as the rest of the year, because it's been so warm. I mean, there's been days this year where we only used 1 load of firewood in an entire day. So, you know, having to use a little bit more here in the cold. So now, yesterday it got above 50 degrees, and, you know, stove's starting to melt. The point I'm trying to make, I don't know, I kind of lost my point. The point I was trying to make is we are doing so much better than we have any other year. People are saying that even the off-grid channels can't seem to survive these cold temperatures. Finally, they're going to learn they can't live off-grid. Well, that's just not true. I mean, we were living quite well. This year we've lived better than any other year, even though the temperatures were so cold. So I don't know where they got this, other than they're just making it up just to try to have something to put out there. And the other thing is, what makes it so nice is when we go to the store, we don't even have to freeze our food. That's always a struggle with the generator, is freezing the food, because you need 3 days for the freezer to run straight through. 3 days of sun, and then at night you're going to have to run that generator at least the first night. But when it's so cold like this, and it has been for 3 weeks, you go to the store, you can buy meat without, you know, unfrozen meat. You can leave it outside, it'll freeze overnight, and then you put it in the freezer the next day, and you don't lose any energy that way. So, no, I mean, I think have mastered the cold weather now. I don't think we're going to have any problems. I used to dread the winter, but I didn't this year, and I won't anymore. The only dread I have, and it's the only dread I have, is setting up the water filters every other day to fill the tank. But really, I mean, that's just part of the job. And when you look at my life as a job, it's better than having to go work for somebody. You know, people, that is the thing, is people try to insinuate that since I don't have a job, and, you know, you're a lazy little fool, and living off grid is supposed to be the free and easy life. I've never said that. I'm trading, what I'm saying, what I've always said is I'm trading in an employer to work for myself, making YouTube videos or working on lawnmowers. That is the enjoyment. That's what I enjoy to do. I don't want to work for an employer where they're just constantly beating you down and stressing you out, calling you at midnight. I don't know. None of that's a big deal to me. Okay, yeah, I had to get up at midnight. This is what's funny. I had to get up at midnight like 2 or 3 nights throughout this 3 weeks to put gas in the generator and to start the wood stove. So you get up, you spend 30 minutes doing all that and then trying to get back to sleep. Or you get a call at midnight, they're chewing you out, and then you don't get any more sleep that night because you're stressed. The sad thing is the next morning you get up at 5 o'clock and you still got to go to work. Here, one night I actually overslept, my alarm didn't go off. That has never happened to me since I've been here. My alarm didn't go off. But here, if I get tired during the day, I can just lay down and take a nap. And I don't take long naps, 15 minutes, and I'm fine. So to tell me that you have finally proven, because I didn't survive this winter, that my life is terrible. Well, what you had to do in order to do that, you had to make up a story. Because nowhere did I say the water froze. I agree, it froze in December. Oh, and I didn't mention this. It froze in December because I forgot to turn the heater on. And the fan, if I'd have turned the fan on in the house, the ventilation fan, we wouldn't have froze. But I forgot to turn it on. And I need to get a piece of insulation. Once I get that insulation, that won't be an issue anymore, ever. So, no, it's just, whoever is making up these stories wants to feel better about themselves. They have a miserable life. They're too afraid to go and try something like this. They're afraid to give up the employer because if they give up the employer and they fail, then they have to go groveling back to the employer or get another job or whatever. So it's just easier to say, well, it can't be done. See, that guy's been doing it for 6 years and he couldn't survive it. Like I said, in order to say that, he had to lie. I guess technically he didn't lie because the water did freeze. Oh, and I don't know if I really finished this story because the dog's interrupted, but most houses have problems too. And if we look down in Arkansas and Louisiana, they're still out of electric. I had electric the whole time. Yeah, it cost a little bit extra. And it didn't cost like $100 a kilowatt either. I mean, I think I probably doubled the use of gas is probably all I did. So let's just say I normally spend 20 bucks. I spent 40 bucks this time. So I don't think that's too bad. If you really think about it, in the wintertime, most people run up their electric bill anyways. They're doing something, running extra heaters or the furnace. They're always, the electric bill goes up in the winter. It always has for me. So if I had to spend 20 extra bucks, basically, to stay comfortable. And everybody seems to forget, I don't have a problem with the water. I still have water. If I do freeze, I have water because I can get it out of the well. I've proven that 1,000 times, and the concept just never seems to stick. So, no, there is no failing with this. How can you fail? You really can't. I have water, endless amount of water, even if the tank freezes, solid, a block, can't use it all winter. I still have water. I have food, and I have heat, and I have a lot of heat. And I have no risk, none, zero risk of the public utilities shutting down for some reason, some weird event like in Arkansas, or just because you can't afford the bill, and you can't heat. I have firewood, and I have lots of it. So, no, it's all, it was all to make themselves feel better. So, if you'll click this up next box, take the video over to my other channel, really appreciate it, go check it out. So I hope I can inspire you. I don't know, stay warm so you can live your dreams. Thanks for watching.